Hello, I'm one hairy arm of many sassy colors, the Katty.
And I'm one boxy head attached to an invisible body, Whompus.
And on today's show, we'll be talking about something that's near and dear to my fuzzy queer heart. Queering classrooms. It's a book wrote by these folks named Aaron Mikulek and Paul Chamness Miller and...
But Katty, what does that even mean? Queering? I know you like other puppets with eyebrows like yours, but what does that have to do with classrooms?
You're a good monster because you asked, Whompus. Let's go find out. Please welcome our special guests. This lineup of traditionally stuffed animals. So let's find out what they know. So, animals, what's queer?
It's strange.
No, it's about being LGBTQ+, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, questioning, and more.
Well, it used to be strange.
But we try not to use it like that, because weird is good. Different is good, but not like us, that's not so good.
But what's the difference? I think I get it. Both of us are rabbits.
But I have a pink nose. I'm not the color of a real bunny.
So, does that mean she's queer?
If she wants to claim it, we think of queering as interrupting something in a way that allows us to really see something else.
So, if I see that she has a pink nose, then I see that all stuffed rabbits don't have to look a certain way just because rabbits should be that color.
Now you're getting it! But queering goes beyond that! It allows us to actually cut it and say, hey! Something's not working here! And a lot of the time, that interruption has a benefit for LGBTQ+ people!
So if you want to queer classrooms...
So you're really trying to see what works and what doesn't work for kids.
But you're also trying to make it better for LGBTQ+ kids.
That's it! Thanks, animals! And back to you, monstrosities! So there you have it! This book is all about those personal narratives and educational practices to make things better for everyone and to support LGBTQ+ youth in schools.
It all sounds so nice and neat!
But of course it isn't. And at the heart of it is all those questions about how kids learn and what learning even is.
Whoa, Katty, that might be a little too much to start with. Don't they just know things like that?
Oh, you naive hairy beauty, of course they do. In fact, there are a bunch of theories of learning in this book, but not all of them are as obvious as you'd like.
Like what?
Well, take chapter 2, a place where they can be themselves, issues of LGBTQ, students revisited by Michelle L. Nair. Michelle L. Nair never explains what she believes learning to be, but she wraps up on page 23 by suggesting that inclusive curricula, and I quote, would enable personal and teacher identity awareness and development. In fact, there's a lot about identity development that you find in this book, Whompus, which fits neatly into learning as a change in identity. According to this view, LGBTQ plus kids and teachers have space not only to learn, but to learn about themselves too.
What else is there?
Good question, you fuzzy lemmox. Let's go to Rackety the Potioneer to find out.
Hello there, creatures of the night. I'm Rackety Tea and Foction, your cook with the look, back in my potion kitchen. Today, what are we going to make? Ta-da! It's this delightful book. Now, with any book, there's a certain degree of magic that goes into its creation, but we're specifically going to be measuring out the theories of learning that went into this book. There's the theory of learning as a change in identity, like my monstrous colleagues mentioned. In fact, many of the theories we'll add to our flask here are based on social, situative, and democratic theories of learning. There's a hearty helping of social constructivism as well, especially in Chapter 4, Constructions of Children and Childhood, Implications for LGBTIQ Inclusion and Teacher Preparation Programs by Corin Wickens, which is all about construals of children, as you'd expect. In fact, some of the assumptions go all the way back to Piaget in cognitive development stages in children. So let's add in a dollop of that. There's also a healthy amount of discourse in there. Gee, I wonder why that would be, wink. Especially in Chapter 9. You don't have to think about it in that way. Deconstructing Teacher Assumptions about LGBTIQ Students by Elizabeth Dinkins and Patrick England. And when we add it all together, we get something that still may not work as well together. But put it together with the rest of the ingredients, put it in the oven, and voila!
Thank you, Rackety! Of course, that's not all that's in this book. There are 14 chapters which talk about everything from building LGBTQ identity in art education to how to be the best faculty sponsor of high school gay straight alliances. So don't think it's just about one thing.
And isn't it a book full of numbers too?
It is! This book was one of the first to include statistics from the 2013 National School Climate Survey by the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network. And several of the chapters explain exactly how rotten it's been out there for most kids. Let's find out more. It's time for Brontofloros!
Did you know almost 70% of kids reported feeling unsafe at school because of their sexual orientation or gender expression? Did you know 50% of kids reported that intervention by school staff in response to verbal or physical harassment of LGBTQ+ kids was ineffective? Did you know 56% of LGBTQ+ kids experience discrimination at school? Did you know in-school victimization of LGBTQ+ kids resulted in those kids having decreased self-esteem, missing more days of school, and having lower GPAs?
That's terrible! What do we do about it, Katty?
Well, I have good news and bad news, and they're the same news. The research reports that teachers at every level just don't have experience or training in working with LGBTQ+ kids. So, training! You saw yourselves that a bunch of run-of-the-mill stuffed animals can do it, and so anyone can.
What about how we think about how kids learn?
That's a good question, Whompus. How do you think it changes things?
Well, identity seems important. if you think about learning as learning more about yourself too, and figuring out how you fit in with what you're doing in school, well, that seems most important.
And it does seem like that's been the assumption for a long time when it comes to LGBTQ plus kids in education. But it doesn't have to be that way. It's not a bad assumption, but it also allows us to think that the only thing we're thinking about for LGBTQ plus kids is that they're LGBTQ plus, when they might need just as much help seeing themselves as dancers or scientists or presidents.
So it seems like it's important that any way of looking at learning when you want to queer classrooms also looks at how society needs to change too.
Exactly, and that's just where the authors leave us. We can make curriculum changes and try and represent all kids, but we also need big changes in how we listen to and respect everyone. That's the hardest part, and what we'll leave you with today. Remember that not all stuffed rabbits look like real bunnies.
See you next time
On the Katty and Whompus Show.